And then we're here. We are live. That's right. We are live. Let's get rid of the music now. We'll fade the music out. How's that sound? Hey, how cool would it be to do all this stuff automatically? Can we do it automatically? You know what? It is about time we figure this thing out. All right. So, what are we talking about here today? We're talking about distractions, getting in the game, making sure it happens, how you make the right decisions, and all of this stuff. And as my friend Tim said, you know what? It's up to you. It just is totally up to you. You need to make the call, make it happen. How easy it is that to do. Well, Tim's sales coach. He looks at things very, I don't know if cut and dry is really the right word, but boom, make a decision, make the call, make it happen and let it go that way. I tell you, I think I'm a bit much more, much softer when it comes to that. Truly much softer when it comes to it. It's like, well, and then what if, and then we could justify and then make things work that way, or what do you think? Oh my gosh, you could drive yourself absolutely nuts with it. And you know what? I think I did. I think I did. I hope you don't. I want you to be the example over here. There's like a bunch of things I do, like doing this video, man. I love doing this whole thing. But why am I doing it? Good question. Why am I doing it? I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool that you do the thing. And yeah, I definitely get a kick out of the fact that you just yak over here for a half an hour and make it go that way. It's like, why? Why? And then there's a few things, man. It's really cool getting some of the comments that come through every once in a while. And I get to, sometimes we get a few more listeners than other times, and the rest of that. And it's like, well, how to improve that? And then what are we going to do? And how are we going to do it? Do I get sponsors, advertisers, stuff like that? But what if I go to the studio? Donna Drake has been inviting me over multiple times to Drake Media to do the program over there. Well, if I go there and do that, then it's a big change. And then there's the time consideration. Do we do that? Something. Then you also have the podcast, true podcast, not this YouTube thing, but true podcast. Go that route. That could be a possibility. And then you got the digital marketing side of it. All these things are possible. Yet I sit here with a blank wall. Is that indecision, or am I leading by example? I look at it a couple of different ways. Is that indecision? I've been looking at this back wall now for quite a while. I want to make something happen with that, and certainly is time to do that. So we're going to do that. Actually, we're going to do that right now. We're going to see where we mark this thing off, and maybe where we could put the camera, relocate that a little bit more so we have over here. So while we're doing that, let's go here. Let's mark it off. All right. We'll get the chair out of the way and make headway. So we need a thumbtack, and then we need to put up our sound barrier. All right. So where we at? We're about here. That seems to be the corner. Yeah, I made sure I put on shorts for this one. There we go. There you go. That's technically done. And then we're on the opposite side of the tree. And then that is. Okay, so that's good. All right, we got that done. That wasn't terribly hard now, was it? Looks better. We could put a few more. I got a number of them we could put across the top over there. Actually, I like the way it looks. Now, what about this brand Renegades? Hey, you know something? That's it. That's a good look. But we also have Get Your Shift Together. That's by Mr. Rizzo, and a bunch of other things. We can put a planter back there. Watch how fast we change this thing. Got those two eyeballs looking at us also. There we go. Little plant. That's good. Now, what if we move the camera over a little bit? Yeah, I know you weren't expecting this, but I got to tell you something. And here's the thing. How do you make the right decisions as to what's right for you to do or not do? You know something? It's about making the wrong decisions. Not just about making the right decisions, but it is making a decision. boy, if you procrastinate, if you don't decide, that actually is a decision to not do something. So do. So that's it. It's our new thing here. We're going to keep doing. Even got a haircut, shave, clean look. The rest of that, I should put the jacket on. Let's try something a little bit different too, because you know what? I'm a little jammed in over here as we do this thing. I don't know how to show you this. We could take a, oh, you know what? I don't think I can invite myself on. Let's see if we can do that. Let's go invite, copy, and I don't know, this might mess things up. Oh, let's go here. New email. Strategies. We're going to try this. I'm going to see if I can invite me on and doing that. And this would be kind of cool if we can. Actually, I've been wanting to try this anyhow. And I didn't get that yet. We're going to work on let's see if that comes through. Oh, I got to send it, don't I? That actually helps. So we can send it over. And we get that. I could actually tie in. There it is. I'm going to turn the volume off on this. This way it doesn't do anything, and I think we should be fine. Login code. Login. Whoop, that's not the email we need. There we go. You know what I was looking at doing too, and it's just kind of interesting here, is that we are, let's go back to StreamYard, cancel that. Oh yeah, look at that, entering your studio. Hey Doug, how are you, buddy? There we go, we got the camera, so that's good. All right, so one of the things I wanted to try and do was to, add it with the drag racing, the racetrack. So we might have internet access, and I was thinking about how I could share this thing out, and the whole way through. So here is the. Let's go. You're at the studio guest. At the studio. Here we go. And that better? Nope, I got an echo going. That's what the camera looks like. And you got an echo, so I won't be doing that. Anyhow, that's the cameras. I'm going to move that around a little bit. Drop that. Remove, gone. Okay, I said that didn't really work out too well. But anyhow, all right, so let's try moving this around. Hey, Doug, I'm glad you're here, man. So I could always use your opinion on it. So we got the camera over here is one. And then remember, if I use the computer, that becomes a little problematic because I'm not making eye contact over here. So I'm wondering if we move it a little bit, if that's going to help out any. And I could tell you, and Doug, the whole reason here is that I need to keep myself more motivated in this thing. And this is part of that process. So I'm not sure I got my ear stuck in there. You can see it up close and personal. Teddy Pritchett, man, combed my hair. I definitely combed my hair. But he wound up let's go this way. As that goes. I don't think that's going to work out terribly well. No, I'll go like this. It just is. No, not a fan of that one. That's a little too. I'm in too much. So anyhow, yeah. So I got my hair cut by Teddy Pritchett, International Cut Masters over in Selden. Guy's great. I got to tell you, man, meticulous. So unbelievably meticulous as that goes. I think we'll just stay with this. when that works. Maybe adjust it a little bit, put a little tape on me here, some. That's why I have it. But Teddy was terrific. I cut my hair, did the whole thing, really good, the whole deal. So it was nice. It's nice to be treated like that. As that, there we go. I think we'll stick with that. That looks okay. We'll put some stuff back there. We got the flowers. Get your shift together. That's good. Shift. There's an F in there, as that goes. But yeah, Teddy Pritchett, man. I don't think I have his photo up yet. We'll certainly do that. I know we did take a couple of photos when I was there. He redid the place, beautiful actually. So he moved in maybe 6 months ago, something like that, and it was an existing uh, hair cutting place, barbershop. Put his own touches in it, redid the front a little bit, redid the inside a lot, as that one went, and it looks great. Really looks great. I know he's still looking to bring in another barber or two. Uh, the It's easy. Actually, it's easy to get to location right off of Middle Country Road. So that's easy. And Selden, there's parking around the back, so there's plenty. You don't have to worry about parking on the street. Parking on Middle Country Road is not what you want to do. You can park in the back. Uh, Absolutely plenty of space. To just plenty of space. Absolutely, without a doubt, no issue at all. It's good. Definitely good. The guy cares. The other barber that was there, I missed his name. I didn't get his name, but also really super nice. When I got there, I was greeted, all the rest of that. So that was good. It's everything that you would hope for in a business, right? This is my bottom line. We expect them to be able to give a good haircut, but it's the service side of it that goes along. Service side of it that goes along with this. He's like fully engaged, and you could tell. And that other barber was fully engaged, and you could tell. And we're going to tie that in with over here too, because the idea is that if you're not fully engaged, I'm not fully engaged in whatever that project is, why am I doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you really doing that? Does it really make sense for you to put the time, energy, and effort into it? So that's his business. Okay, that's all well and good, but that's not the end all answer to it. Why do you work someplace? Because they pay me. Okay. Does that mean you're engaged, or you're looking at the clock? You're doing that 9 to 5 thing, whatever your hours might be. Oh, and it's so easy to find. So easy to see the clock watchers. Even as a customer walking into a place, you could definitely tell who's engaged in the place, who cares about the place, and who doesn't. So for someone to just have a business and say, hey, yeah, this is what I do for a living, and this is how I get paid, and this is how I'm able to afford whatever it is that I could do, and not, that kind of thing. If that's it, that's not an engaged owner. And if you're not an engaged owner, it's going to filter through. It's going to filter through to everything else, right? That means your employee's not going to be engaged, because if you don't care, why should I care? All the rest of that kind of stuff. Holds true with your managers too. You're a manager of something, you're not engaged. Those folks that report to you, that work with you, not going to be there. Oh, nonprofits? Even more so. Even more so. If you are leading a project at a nonprofit and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, got to tell you, those other volunteers are going to see that. And not only will they be less engaged, they're going to be resentful, because they're there giving their time away for nothing other than their goodwill deposit. But they're giving their time away to that nonprofit in order to make that nonprofit better, however that is, whether it be fundraising or whatever. And what they expect is everybody else to be there for the same reason, to make that better. So if you're just there because they gave you a title and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, no, definitely not it. It's going to be it's a bad reflection on you, bad reflection on that project, because you're not going to achieve what you possibly can achieve, because those other volunteers are going to be less engaged, and you don't have the ability of waiving a paycheck. in front of somebody. That's not it. Ultimately, you're a motivator. You're in any kind of a leadership role, any place, you're a motivator. And that's what Teddy is. Got to hire the right people. Absolutely. You got to make sure that they know what they're doing and can cut hair. Absolutely. And it's interesting because they got such a wide variety, of folks showing up over there. It was incredible and very friendly. I had great conversation. Actually, one of the customers that was there, two of them actually that were there at the time. One was a runner, so we were talking about running, and then the other guy that was there at the time, there was a little boy that was there too. I don't know, he was 10, 12 years old, something like that. He said with his dad. He's really great, super haircut too. I really didn't. That was the other barber. Did a real nice job on it. But then the other guy that was there was a photographer. So we started talking too about the whole thing. So we shared some information as that went, but great photos. Talking about the long exposure photos. Gosh, that is so cool. It's a whole nother topic on a whole nother day what that is. But you could tell this guy really loved it. He'd get his car, try to go over to Brooklyn Bridge. He told me where he stood on the bridge to get the photos, how long of that exposure, how many seconds at different times, how it flattens out the water, everything. Super engaged on the whole thing. Super engaged. So let's see. I go to this barbershop to get a haircut by a friend. So I definitely want to support that because he's got a story that goes along with the whole thing and that kind of deal. And I was introduced to him by another friend and all the rest of that. But what I saw in that place was a lot more than just a pair of scissors or a hair trimmer or a clean floor and everything like that. What I saw in there was a whole bunch of folks that really wanted to be there. Really wanted to be there to get a haircut. That's the environment. That's creating the right environment. That's what he's done over there. He's created the right environment. So when he hires somebody, when he brings in another barber, yeah, the skill has to be there. And that's what you need. When you're hiring somebody, we're working with somebody, you're doing something. You need to have that skill. Get that skill. That's a known. That's just something that needs to be. But what's harder to identify is that desire. It is very hard if you're in the hiring world to hire somebody that truly has that desire. They're going to show up on the interview and going to say all the right things, everything like that. But how do you really know? It's the little things, I think, that you really know. It's going to look and taking, on the LinkedIn, the Facebook, and all the rest of that stuff. Especially, if you're someone who's in sales or you're going to get paid by the amount of haircuts you do and the rest of that stuff. That's going to be part of it. I think that's fair game to go and take a look at, without a doubt. As with anything, throw it into the networking world, the same thing. You run across somebody that wants to promote your efforts. Oh, I love what you're doing. It's all good. More than happy to refer you. Ooh, are they giving you the whole story? Are they really for real? The rest of that stuff. What I've come to learn along the way when it comes to referrals and who to refer and can I refer and the rest of that stuff and what's realistic or not, especially with all these LinkedIn friend requests you get, right? So yeah, I like connecting with people like you. You got a great profile, blah, blah, blah. And the invitation comes in, Brian A. In other words, including my middle initial. So did you really look? Or is, oh, I'd love to expand my network and the rest of that stuff. Then you give me the sales pitch. Just got one today. Give me the sales pitch. But how do you really know? Since most of us are probably more in the networking kind of world rather than hiring somebody. But how do you really know who's going to be a good resource for you? I got another friend that is starting a networking group. Big undertaking. So he's really got a challenge ahead of him doing that. When you want to start a networking group or when you want to get your own referral base together, or if you want to refer people, and this is exactly where I'm at right now, This is how I want to build this thing, and this is why I'm getting myself more engaged. I'm looking at myself as somebody who's like, am I doing this for the sake of doing this, or am I doing it because I really, really want to do it? That's why I gotta go. I gotta go and make mistakes, do this, change it, whatever, make it happen. I didn't do it. I was just gonna do another program, la da 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 da. I was like, no, let me get this thing started over here. And you know what? I think we could even move this a little bit more this way as that goes. And and the more I put it on an angle this way, you know what? This actually might work. Glad I brought it up. Glad you brought it up. Because the more I do it like this, then the more I can move this machine over and a little less. Yeah, I can move them back, that front, and a little less this way. I go, see what's going on over there. Hello. Hello. Make it work that way so I can see. But finding people that are engaged, truly engaged in it. How do you do that? Ask them some questions, find out, but listen for the little nuances. Realistically speaking, can somebody refer you? Realistically, I was like, oh, I know when I started networking, I was like, oh yeah, want to be friends with everybody. Everybody's a client. No, 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 no. I was wrong. Then I went out to every networking event. Oh yeah, I was out. It was a lifestyle. I was out all the time. The joke was, you want to eat out every night of the week for free? You could do it. Just keep going to networking events. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging on a Saturday night, but for the most part, 5 nights a week, easy to do. But what are you accomplishing? Nothing. You get the chance to meet a lot of people. That's good. Maybe you find somebody, but that's like, what? It's just what? It's just trying to catch anything, any place. I like throwing a dart into a dartboard and see what happens. Not it. Much more specific. So the clearer you are, and here's the point of the whole thing. Here is the point of the whole thing. The clearer you are, the clearer I am as to what it is, the better it's going to be. But the first person to motivate, the first person to find out what their motivation is not who you're talking to. It's not the networking stuff. It's not going out. It's not what you say on LinkedIn. It's not what you say on Facebook. It's not what you say on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or wherever you're putting your stuff. It's that conversation from within, back this way. That's the conversation. I've sat down so many times, written business plans and all the rest of that stuff. But then the question is, where are they? Somewhere in that file. If it was really that meaningful, I'd have it on the tip of my fingers. The Long Island Speaker Bureau one. You know what? That was on the tip of my fingers. Have that. I could probably recite most of it to you right now. I really believed in that. Learning curve happened. Got it. Oh, good. So be it. But what really came out of that was a learning experience along the way. Now, kind of change it up a little bit. Speaker Bureau going to do that? Kind of. It's a supporting cast member. Let's put it that way. Supporting cast member. What do I really like to do? What I really like to do? I really like interviewing people. I really truly like doing that. Is there a business model in there? Perhaps not. Not depending on who I want to interview and how I want to make that work. And it's whose program. Is it a commercial interview? Or is it me interviewing based upon what I want to talk about? Big difference, on that one. Big difference. So is there a income stream on that one? No, I don't think so. Not the way I'm looking at it. And even with the sponsors and stuff like that for that, is there an income stream there? No, not really. It's minor stuff. Nothing to speak of. But what is important there is that I know, like, and trust those people. These are my partners. to make this grow to wherever it grows and supporting that team along the way. So this is really my networking. And that's really what I like. And that's why I really need to be proud of what this backdrop looks like. I need to be proud of the stuff as it goes, which in turn means I need to motivate me. I need to be clear with me as to what that goes. And that is really, I think, the truest key to success as it goes. Are you really truly doing what it is that you want to do? Constraints are around, all the rest of that stuff. But what is it that you really want to do? What is it you could realistically do within that whole thing? And will you either get the support to do it, or can you hire somebody to help you out doing that? Do you have the knowledge to do it? And the rest of those other things that go along with it. Big factors, but they're factors. They're not the driving force. The driving force is what is it that gets you going? And what could you realistically do? I know, shoot for the moon, all the rest of that stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes shooting for the moon, although it sounds great, it's not going to keep you engaged when it gets to be a challenge. And that's why those minor successes, the little successes as we move along, that's going to build and build and build and build and build. So my greatest success today is putting that foam sound padding up. If that's the big success, hey, so be it. And it doesn't even look too bad. Right, Doug? Doesn't look terrible as that goes. So now we're going to continue to make progress over here. Then we're going to have guests on, and we're going to keep this thing moving along. And then you're going to hear a lot more about some of the other stuff that's coming up because we're getting back. They got the drag racing is going to pick up again, so I'll be involved with that one. This Wednesday morning, actually, Lenore Pabraki is involved with this group where it is a nonprofit group that's out there to support other unknown small nonprofits. So, we're going to look into that to see what's going on there. I know Alex is doing more and more with the music of with the Suffolk YJCC over in Comac. It's kind of big. Donna Drake Media Network. Love what she's got going on there with the studio. In fact, she's expanding again. They're building another room that could be used. I think it's more of a green room, but she's building another studio room over at that complex. Great, strategically located. She's right in Melville. Excellent. She's got the podcast room, which again I'm told about frequently. She's got the podcast room. She's got a voiceover room, which is completely soundproof room. So if you're interested in doing voiceovers or want to get your demo reel together, could do that. Podcast, you want to do a podcast someplace where you've got the producer and you got the set, you got 3 cameras. I think you got a teleprompter if you need it, any of that kind of stuff. It's there. You could use that, make that work. Great stuff. And of course, Arthur Germain, brand storytelling. Podcasting is one aspect of it. That's true podcasting. Don is his video too, so Don's more YouTube. But sound podcast, do it there. Edit it, intro, outro, all the rest of that stuff. Minor editing. There's no. If you're interviewing somebody else, there's 2 lines, so you're not talking over each other. Stuff like that. Could work it out that way. I don't believe in scripted. You got to know what point you want to make, and if you need to say it again, it can be done. So that's not live. That's recorded. Donna's also can be live or recorded. Your call on that one. You can also rent the studio for time and do different things. Mine, I like going live. So I do this over here. I don't edit. When it comes time for me to edit, I'm calling for help. Maybe I'll learn how to edit a little bit, but I'm definitely calling for help, on that one. And that's where that happens. Oh, we're a little bit over. So that's where it goes. So here's the point. The point is, in order for you to achieve success, in order for you to work through those problems that you have, the motivation has to come from within. It comes from nobody else. You can get kind words from people, and it's all good. You can get a pat on the back from folks. That's all good. But for you really to do something, got to be engaged. And if we lose that motivation, if we lose that engagement, well, then figure out a way to make it work. Figure out a way to make it back. Go do something crazy. Do something, anything that you need to do in order to refocus. Take a break if you need, but then come back and come back stronger. Write it out. Get a vision board. Doodle. Whatever. Make it work. Make it work that way. Are we going to play some music on the way out of here? And that's good. We're getting our shift together. Thank you, Mr. Rizzo. Got Toastmasters up in the corner. We can put this stuff across. Actually, it's pretty full. I don't even need too much over there. Still got the eyeballs back there too. All right, little music. Doug, I'll talk to you soon. There we go. And let's not forget, speak well, speak often, and live inspired.